An outreach program by the Central Registry Department should be embarked upon in the near future to provide vital registration documents, that is, birth certificate. To the passage of time, some of the passport production machinery had been in use for some time, and there was need to replace them. I also indicated that following the intervention by His Excellency the President, Comrade Idi Mnangagwa, who directed that the impasse be addressed, my ministry worked in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development to address the matter. May I also advise that my ministry had been proceeding with the implementation of the decentralization program, under which new registries are being constructed in all our provinces. In 2019, our focus had been on the Murewa, Wedza and Goromonzi registries, with plans also underway to construct the Kadoma, Insiza and Pindura district registries in the year 2020. I would like now to advise that the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development on a monthly basis has allocated resources to retire the outstanding debts in relation to technical expertise and suppliers of consumables and paper. At the rate at which we are moving, we hope that by the second quarter of year 2020, significant progress should have been made to resolve this matter. May I also take this opportunity to advise that 3 state-of-the-art high-capacity passport printers have since been delivered and installed, thereby further enhancing our capacity to make headway in the clearance of the backlog and at the same time attend to some current applications. Further steps have been taken to take delivery of passport paper and consumables, as well as material for the production of synthetic identification cards, to make sure that all those requiring our services get them in line with our client service charter. While the impact of the measures taken so far is considerable, in that about 100,000 people who applied for passports will take delivery of such documents by the end of December 2019. With the arrival of the additional material and order at the end of November 29 or early December 2019, we expect to double the number of people getting passports within 2 months of taking the delivery. Coming to the decentralization program already alluded to, I would advise that the Murewa district registry is almost complete and significant progress has been made in the completion of Wedza district registry. Plans for the year 2020 Ministry's infrastructure program should see the completion of these registries and work proceeding in earnest to construct the Goromonzi, Kadoma and Insiza registries. The completion of these registries is important in that it enables my ministry to bring computerized services nearer to the people, and will continue until we address the provision of such offices at sub-district level. As I indicated last time, my ministry remains of the view that it should be possible for our nationals to apply for and collect documents at their nearest administrative district offices. On a related matter, my ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, and the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Trade has agreed that an outreach program by the Central Registry Department should be embarked upon in the near future to provide vital registration documents, that is, birth certificates and national identity documents, to selected countries with our nationals living in the diaspora. The purpose of the outreach program will be to issue birth certificates and national identity documents, as well as receive applications for passports for processing back in Harare. After agreement with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, it will be possible for people in the diaspora to pay the fees for these documents in the equivalent of the approved fees in currencies of their host countries. On a more permanent basis, we have also agreed with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade that the Ministry should regularize the movement of the diplomatic bag to allow people in the diaspora to apply and pay for passports at the embassies nearest to them. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade will then submit the applications through their head office to the external section of the passport office under the registrar, under the Central Registry Department. The passport office will then expeditiously process the application within a period of approximately 10 working days and send them back to the diaspora through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade. I shall continue to update the nation on a regular basis as we achieve our set milestones under these programs. And as the news media working for the people of Zimbabwe, they are always free to ring or to come to the offices, either to me or to the permanent secretary, to find out exactly what successes we have made or what challenges we face. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I don't know whether colleagues you would want the Minister to say anything in the amplification. Any clarity is needed. Yes, sir.
Are there timelines to this idea of having people in the diaspora renewing the documents?
We're doing it now. We've started doing that now. It's a process, but we have started doing it because we cannot have people failing or finding it difficult to access documents which they are naturally are supposed to have in terms of the Constitution, because we want every citizen, every baby, every child to access to all the documents that are required for them to be known citizens of this country. It doesn't matter where they are born, or it doesn't matter where they are. We have this challenge because of the past. Like I said, we didn't pay at the right time in the past, but we are now moving full steam ahead.
I think just to add to what one of the ministers just said, we have our people all over the world, and we are trying to remove the burden of having to travel to their homeland to seek these documents. So the regularization ensures that diasporians can proceed to the Zimbabwean embassy wherever they are, lodge their applications, have them in the diplomatic bag, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs would then do the sorting. Of particular importance is the issue of passport applications, which would then be forwarded to a section is already in existence, which is the External Affairs section, which we are saying has to speedily process and send them back to avoid that problem of having to, purchase an air ticket just to come and get a passport. So they will be able to get their passports where they are. In addition to that, we are saying, right, we have had this stricture, this bottleneck in terms of churning out our passports. It becomes a three-tier system to say, right, there are normal requests for passports, there are agent passports, and then there's the diasporian who would also need to be attended to. So these requirements would be attended on a daily basis. Say normal applications will process in addition to agent ones. like medical care, going to school, etc., etc.
Business.
Yeah. Right. Any other? If there are no questions, let me.
If there are no questions, what I can say, I know some people here have been wanting to know about the e-passport.
Yes.
Very soon I'll be making another statement in place all over the world. Within the next few weeks I'll be making a statement on that same subject, so that we are part of the world. As you know, passports don't belong to one country. They belong to the international organization. So we are part of the world, like our ancestors were long before we were colonized. We have always been global. But those who colonized us decided to make us think that we are not global. That's why we're selling our gold and diamonds to India and China. Thank you very much.